Hello, and welcome to Talk to Downtown. My name is Courtney Wood. I'm the Economic Development Director for the Downtown Stockton Alliance, which is the 501c6 nonprofit property-based business improvement district serving downtown Stockton. This webinar series is intended to connect our business owners, property owners, and visitors with the organizations, resources, and people that can help them address issues which are of top concern to them. Today, we have guest Merab Talamantes from the Regional Transit District, also known as RTD, and she's going to talk to us all about transit. So the way that this series will work, I will go ahead and let Merab introduce herself and tell us a little bit about what she does at RTD, her role there. Then I will ask a list of questions that I've outlined for her. And after that, we will open it up to the viewers to go ahead and ask your questions. So with that, I would like to say thank you so much, Merab, for being our guest today, and tell us a little bit about who you are and your role at RTD.
Oh, thanks, Courtney. My name is Merab Talamantes, as Courtney already introduced me, and I work at Joaquin RTD. I've been with RTD for just a little over 8 years. And right now, my current job title, I'm a project controls manager. So I oversee and monitor our projects, specifically our capital projects. We have a lot of capital projects that bring, the infrastructure to the county and to the community. So we have, we're always building things and changing things and putting in chargers and creating facilities. We have our newest addition is the Union Transfer Station, which is over off of Airport Way and MLK. You might see it out there. We have a few facilities throughout the county. So I monitor our capital projects, and I'm also the public information officer. Recently, that's as of maybe just about going on a year. Before that, I managed the executive office, so the CEO's office, which I still do. Because of the pandemic, we also took a budget hit, so we're kind of wearing a lot of hats right now, but we make it all work. So I do that as well, and I still do that. I'm still doing that. So right now I have the 3 roles, and so yeah, that's what I do. And I recently joined the Downtown Stockton Alliance board, very recent. So I'm still getting the good grasp on that, but learning about all of the good things that DSA does. So it's good. It's good partnership.
And we are happy to have you.
Thanks.
And so it sounds like you're very busy. You have a lot of jobs. So thank you so much for giving your time to us. All right. So I would like to go ahead and start with a few questions. And my first one is, can you explain to anyone who may not be familiar with RTD, what is the overarching mission and goal for the Regional Transit District?
Mm-hmm. So our mission is to provide safe, reliable, and efficient transportation to the residents that we serve, the residents of the community. So safety is huge at RTD, especially now with the pandemic. We've upped it probably another 100% of what we were doing before. So we have hand sanitizing wipes on the mask. We have, of course, we're on the bus. I'm sorry, and then we have the face mask campaign. We have been giving out face masks now for about a year for our passengers and folks that need that just to stay safe. We have our cleaning, their sanitizing protocols have always been pretty rigorous, but now they're kicked up a notch, as is everything else. So, and that is on our external facade, right? So that's like on the buses and at our facilities, but also inside our administrative offices, it's pretty much all the same. So safety, and then of course reliable, right? We are a transportation agency, so we want to move people around, get them where they're going safely, and we want to be reliable so that they can, so that we can get to where we're going, and not always have to try to figure out the sometimes I think the schedules can be a little, like when you're looking at the paper schedule, it can be a little, I'm sorry, I have an alarm. It can be a little challenging, but everything now is on demand. It's on your phone, it's on your computer. So we make it as easy as possible for people to be able to rely on the service, and then to get them where they're going. So that is our overarching mission there, is to provide safe, reliable, and efficient transportation for the community residents.
Amazing. Thank you for the work that you do. So my next question is kind of about, underneath what you just spoke about, what is your area of service? Like, how far can people travel with RTD?
Well, we serve the entire San Joaquin County. So it's just a little over 1,400 square miles, I believe. And we also have commuter routes that go to the BART station and to Sacramento. So we have, I think right now we currently have 4 trips that are going to Sacramento, downtown, probably like capital area. And so you can go over there. So that's pretty far. And then also to the BART station. But in the city, we connect, we're connecting, in the county, I should say, we're connecting, all of the cities. So you can go to Lodi, you can go in the Van Gogh, you can go as far as Lockford. And so it really is the entire county.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's touch a little bit on what kinds of services you offer, because I know you have many service programs, and you just mentioned one of them, which was Van Gogh. So can you share a little bit more about these?
Yeah, of course. So our main, would say maybe the backbone is our BRT service. So that's the bus rapid transit. We have 5 corridors. So basically like 5 lines that go, we have the Pacific Avenue, right? We go from downtown Transit Center all the way north to the Hammer Transfer Station, which is, where it connects on Hammer Lane. And then there's another line there that goes from another BRT there that goes from one end of Hammer to the other, right? And those 2 are actually our most popular, mostly heavily used routes, because, you're connecting everything, right? And everything is there from downtown all the way up north and then across. And we also have routes that go, that feed into those routes, and they go out to different areas like County Hospital, the Trinity Park area, of course, South Stockton. One of our corridors connects downtown, and it goes down Airport Way. So all the way down to the end of Airport Way, and then comes back around. And then we also have one that's the MLK that goes across Martin Luther King. So and then we have the Midtown corridor, which goes all the way from the DMV to Franklin High School. So that's like the backbone of the I would say of the routes, the heaviest used ones. And then all of the other, we have the SMA routes, which are within the city of Stockton, and those go into more like into the neighborhoods. And then we also have the Metro Hoppers, which the Metro Hoppers, it's a deviated fixed route service. So these are smaller buses. You might have seen them around. They have the frog on them. And those go all throughout the city of Stockton as well. And then they also deviate to pick up ADA, certified passengers. So they deviate, I think it's up to quarter mile. It might be a mile or, yeah, but I think it's quarter mile. They will go off route to pick up passengers and then, and take them where they need to go. Then we also have the other service that goes out to the cities, right? Like Lodi, Tracy, Ripon, Manteca, and I might have covered them all, or I might have Lathrop, I might have left one out. But we also have a route that stops in, I think the Manteca route might stop in Ripon, but we do have a connection that goes out to Ripon. So we have a lot. I'm not in planning, but I'm pretty active on the agency. So we have those, and then we also have our commuters. We have a commuter that goes, like I said, to the BART station, and that one actually also goes on the weekends. So that's very convenient. I find it very convenient for traveling because, especially when you're going on long trips and you have a little bit of luggage, and leaving your car at the airport is going to get pricey. I find that one very convenient because, you can get you there and get you home, and you're really saving a lot. I mean, an Uber to the airport would be like over $100. I thought about doing it many times, but I usually end up taking the bus. So yeah, we have quite a few stores. And then of course, like I mentioned earlier, the Van Go. The Van Go is a really, it's like a premium service. That it's been adapting to the needs of the county, and the latest expansion has expanded the program so that it covers all of San Joaquin County. So it's a true countywide service. You can, like I said, you can go from Tracy to Lockford if you needed to, and it will get you there. And the good thing about Van Go, so it's kind of like an Uber type service, but the thing that makes Van Go stand out is that it's one, I mean, the drivers are obviously, they're professionally trained, and but they're also accessible vehicles, right? So and the drivers are trained to assist passengers that need the extra assistance. So that is, I think those are probably all of our services. If I didn't need, we also have, well, actually, no, it's not we also have a couple of other programs. Like, well, we have Dial a Ride, which is a program that takes passengers where they need to go. And that's like curb to curb service. And then we also have a program that not a lot of people know about, but I think it's really cool. It's the My Ride program. And that is where, say if I was ADA certified, but I just want to, pay my neighbor or my sister to take me where I need to go, they can get reimbursed up to, I think it's 50 cents a mile, right, to take me where I need to go. So that's nice, because I think sometimes, even though we want to, we want to help our family as much as possible, but sometimes you can't. So it's good that, a friend or a neighbor could do it. And then this way they're getting reimbursed. So it feels good on both sides. So that's another program that I think is really cool. I promote that one to my family, because I say, hey, you can always have, somebody else take you, because some like taxis and things like that can be expensive. And then sometimes the bus, you just really want to go when you want to go, right? On demand is key. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So many services,
yeah.
many ways to get people around. I love that. What can you say about fares? So let's say maybe I wanted to go from downtown to UOP. What would fare look like for me?
Well, if you went from downtown to UOP, it would, the regular fare is just $1.50, because you could take the BRT route, the 40, and that would take you to UOP, or even to the mall, right, all the way up to Hammer Lane. And that $1.50 is actually going to be good for I believe it's good for 2 hours. When I started working at RTD about 8 years ago, I worked, it was very entry level. I worked in the customer information center, like selling bus passes. So that's also helpful, right, for me to remember these things. But I believe the ticket is good for up to 2 hours. So you could go, maybe do some shopping, or if you needed to pick something up on campus, and, and you can come back. That is a one trip, right? Or on the BRT, I believe it's good for up to 2 hours. If you wanted to get a day pass, because maybe, you're going to do some, quite a bit of moving around and going to need to transfer and connect. The day pass is $4. The discounted fare is $2.75. So it's basically half.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for that. The commuters are a little bit different. I believe it's $7. That would get you all the way to the BART station. And I'm not sure about the Sacramento one, but I think it's probably, I would say that it's probably about the same, because the distance is very similar. But I've never taken that route. I've never had to go to downtown Sacramento. So, but the bus, that's the regular fare. And then of course the Van Go is there's a $4 base fare, and then I believe it's which is up to the first 5 miles. So that gets you the first 5 miles, and then after that, I believe it's I think it's 50 cents an additional mile, but I can't quote me on that one, because that one recently changed in January. And even though January seems like it wasn't that long ago, a lot of things have happened since then.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. So very affordable.
Very
I love
affordable.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And how about the hours of service? When can people use your transit services and what days?
During the week, the SMA buses and the BRT buses, they start pretty early. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, and then the last BRT buses, I believe they pull in just before 10, maybe like 9:50, 9:55, and then on the weekends it's about, I want to say it's about 7 to 7, so it's not too much shorter, but it is the hours are a little bit shortened there. And then for the commuters, I think it's just a couple less trips on the weekends, right? But there's you can still go to the bar on the weekends.
Okay, and for that commuter one, since you're mentioning the commuter option, what is the ending time on that one? So if the people are coming back from BART?
I think the last one, I want to say it's like 8:30. It might be 9:30, but I know that it's definitely 8:30. It might be 9:30, but I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, I thought it was 8:30, but it's in the evening, so you
That's
can
plenty of time.
Yes, that's plenty of time.
Day.
Yes, to have a nice day, to spend a day there, maybe catch a game when when there's games again. That's a good option.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is just about holidays. Are all these transit services operating on common holidays, like maybe President's Day, or are those off for transit?
The service usually runs, if for some holidays it's like a weekend service, so it's a limited service, but for the major holidays, there is no service, like Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Easter Sunday, which is one that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. But so major holidays like Thanksgiving Day, major holidays, there's no service, but the other holidays there is usually just a limited service.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. We're almost done with the logistics piece. So another question I have is, if people, they want to buy tickets, where can they do that? Is it all online right now?
Well, it's mostly online. I mean, you can definitely, we have quite a few apps and that you can purchase tickets for, mobile ticketing. But we still have our customer information center downtown. They are still open, and I believe they're open on the weekends too. But that's ever changing, right? Because the guidelines are always they've been changing a lot lately. So we have that, and then you can do mobile ticketing, or you can purchase a fare there. For the BRT routes, there are fare vending machines all along the routes, so you can purchase tickets for that there.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so now I want to talk kind of what you were sharing about the route map. What tips do you have for maybe a first-time rider of the bus for kind of navigating the system? Because there are a lot of colors, a lot of directions. So what kind of tips could you give?
I would say definitely use the app. On our website, we have a tool that's called Trip Planner. And there you can plan your trip, and it doesn't have to be like an exact address, right? So maybe you don't know the address of the mall. I don't know the address of the mall. So you could just put Pacific and March Lane and, and where you're starting, and it will plan the route for you. So that's very helpful if you kind of don't know where to begin. If you're not, very techie, because, some people still aren't, and maybe it's just not their preferred way of doing things. You can call, or if you're in the area, you can stop at the Downtown Transit Center and the Customer Information Center. If they're open, they will help you plan your trip. Also, if you're at a stop, maybe there's a stop in your neighborhood. When you go, there's a text bus sign, and it will have a number on it. So you text the number, and then it will send you a text message of, like the next few buses that are coming in the area. So you can, so you can use that if you know, well, oh yeah, I know this bus is going to take me here, but I don't know what time it's coming. And, nobody's going to have that paper schedule on hand. And you're definitely, if you have to go downtown to get a paper schedule, you're probably not going to ride the bus. So we have everything online. All of our schedules are there. You can download them, or, you can just look at them when you need to go somewhere. But the trip planner is the key. It's very easy to use, and it's pretty much the same as you would use in any other city or even country, when you need to get somewhere using public transit. So I would say that, and then also the text bus.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for the tips. And my next question is, you mentioned that RTD does connect with BART. Do you also connect with Amtrak or ACE as well?
Yes, we do. We have one of our BRT route stops at the ACE station downtown on, I'm not sure what street that is, but it does stop there. And then we also have routes that go to the Amtrak station over on San Joaquin. We have Greyhound actually comes to the Downtown Transit Center. They have a stop there on our tarmac where they come and they drop off and they pick up passengers. And then I want to say recently, but I think it's not recent anymore. It's probably been at least a year that the Modesto Max also stops at the Downtown Transit Center.
Wow.
So yeah, RTD is very, we're all about like partnerships, and that's how you get things done, right? In the big scale is, everybody's come together and really just, we already have the facility there, so it really makes sense to connect there, and also for people to not have to think of like all these different places, right, where they have to go to catch the bus. So that's why we have, so many connections there, and it works out. So it's working.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And let's talk about the Downtown Transit Center, since you've been mentioning it. Would you say that's really the hub of RTD services? What kind of role does that location play for you?
Yes, it definitely is. It is the hub. Most of our routes connect there. Some of them stay up north, or some of them stay out south, but for the most part, all of the routes connect there. And that's where people come to, like when the classes were in session, that's where, the students would come to connect if they're taking the bus, because, there's no school buses. So, when you need to go somewhere, it's usually the bus. And if it's far, then you're going to have to connect. So it's a highly used transfer station, a lot more when the ridership was up than it has been since the pandemic. But that's what that is. That's also where we have our administrative offices. Most of our administrative offices are there. And we also have our board meetings there. Our board meetings we have there. And then we also use the room, the boardroom for events, or sometimes, other folks will use it. I think we had the art walk there a few times in the last few years, or that downtown, we had that. So that is a really good space to use for other events as well, right? Because it's downtown, so it's a great area. In the last couple of years, we really wanted to make it like a friendly space, somewhere where you would actually, because there's not a lot of places to sit downtown, right? Especially if you work there and you don't want to have lunch in your office and you want to come out, or if you're catching the bus and you want to have somewhere, outside, it's a nice day where you can sit down and kind of hang out. So we have tables and chairs that are put out on the tarmac, and so kind of really trying to make it an inviting place, because it is a big part of it's a whole city block, right? So it is a big part of the downtown area, and we want everybody, to enjoy it, and the passengers to feel like, they can. It's not like, oh, I have to wait for the bus. It's, waiting is not everybody loves to do that. But when it's
right.
a friendly, cozy place, then, it's a lot more pleasant.
Okay. So one thing I want to highlight is the fact that RTD has an electric bus fleet. I wanted to see, can you share a little bit with us about the decision to take an electric route with the buses at RTD? Tell us how that came about and how it's been working.
Yeah, so RTD was we were early adopters of battery electric technology. I think it was like in 2013, we got the first 2 battery electric buses. And they were, I'm pretty sure they were like the first 2 battery electric buses that were used in Northern California. So we have quite a bit of experience and with the buses, and we've tried the range and where they work and where they don't work, because it's a new technology, and it's a new technology for everyone, right? Even for the manufacturers, because they make a bus and they test it in their facilities, and it's like, oh, okay, this bus can go 200 miles, but when you get it on the road and there's people in it, the air conditioner is running, it's 100 degrees outside. I'm sure in other places, there's snow, there's mountains. We don't have that here, but so in our experience, we've learned many things about battery electric, and it's great. It's different technology, and then of course there's a charging infrastructure. So we've learned a lot about that. Our maintenance department and our facilities department have really learned probably a lot more than they ever thought they were going to, but they're very well versed in that field. But now as we move forward, we know technology is always changing, so the battery electric it's not the only way to go, right? There's always new technologies emerging. So we actually changed that from we still have the same commitment to be zero emission, but now it's zero emission, right? Because before it was battery electric. And then now that there's other technologies, we have changed our commitment recently. I think it was last year sometime, to zero emission. So we're still planning to have the whole fleet zero emission by 2025. And but we're looking at other technologies as well. There's hydrogen fuel cell, which is it's different. It's a different technology that's like made with water, and it's all sorts of stuff that I've heard the explanation a couple of times, but it's not anywhere near my wheelhouse. So I do know that it's also very efficient. There are other transit agencies. It's a newer technology than battery electric, but there are other transit agencies that use this technology, and we're also having some studies done to kind of explore it, to see what the options are there, right? Because with battery electric, when the grid goes down, as it did, I think it was like last year. Well, every once in a while, right? Once a year, it always happens. When the grid goes down, and then we're basically dead in the water if we didn't have other technologies, or just even the regular diesel hybrid. So we still have the commitment to be zero emissions. It's definitely going to happen, and it's going to happen sooner for us, but for the whole state of California, right? They have the mandate for 2040. So, but we are exploring other technologies. So that's kind of how that happened. It was the early adoption, and then and then it's like everybody, that's where it was going. So that's why we're here now.
You were ahead of the curve.
Yes, a little bit ahead of the curve as far as battery electric, but there are other technologies. And so now we went from the 2 bus, I believe, I want to say we have either 17 or 19. And then we have another 9 coming early next year. So, we're definitely still on that track.
Awesome. I think it is a noble commitment. So great job on that.
Thank you.
All right. So another question I have is, what is something that you think people might be surprised to know about transit, either about RTD as an organization or about some of the services that you offer?
Well, as I mentioned before, I think some of the services that we offer, people don't know about them a lot because there's always so much happening. It's kind of difficult, I think, to constantly market everything, right? Because we're always focusing on something. But I think something that people don't know about RTD is that we have a lot of departments here. So we have a lot of things. We have a lot of things going on. We have a marketing department. We have a very brilliant IT department that is just, they're always coming up with new things. As a matter of fact, I think the text bus is one of the things that was like an in-house creation, right? So we have a really good grants department, legislative for advocating. So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of advocating for funding. We do like the service flying department. It's like you think the bus, agency, like transit agency is just like, oh, it's just the buses. So like maintenance and fuel. But there's so much that goes into it that I think a lot of times, we don't think about that. So with that being said, we have the jobs, right? We're always hiring, for this or for that, creating opportunities, and RTD really is a great place to work. It seems like it's not one of those things where you're like, say, oh, what do I want to do? I want to be in transit. It doesn't seem like it's one of those things that you think about, but when you end up in transit, it really opens up it's like this whole other industry that's, it's huge because it has a lot to do with everything, right? With economic development, you still have, transportation is a very important element there. So I think when I was thinking about that, I was like, well, what is it? And I'm like, well, yeah, that's probably it. I think people don't realize all that goes into it. And then also that we are very committed, probably already know, we're very committed to the community. So we're always looking at, ways to partner with different agencies and organizations, just to help the community. And we don't have a lot of, one thing that's also very good is that we don't have a lot of, there's not a whole lot of hoops to jump through, right? For like to get an answer. If we need to do something, we just, ask, go straight to the top and ask. And it's like, okay, yeah, of course, it's a good idea. It's going to happen. And we make things happen, we make things happen really fast if we need to be. So that is also one of the things I think sometimes, you see these agencies, you think, oh, it's, yeah, it would be great if they could do this, but it's going to be a lot of work, or it's going to take a long time. Yeah, but it is a lot of work, but we have a really good team. Everybody, it's like the whole organization is just like a really good team. So we definitely like to do that, and we make things happen.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So I would like to see in your own words, what are the benefits of using RTD's services versus driving or some other form of transportation?
Well, there's it's definitely better for the environment, right? Because the buses are out there. They're going to be out there, even though we are going to the zero emission. Well, that's even better, right? Because a lot of us I don't have a zero emission vehicle. And it's not something that I would like to, but it's not something that, you're like, oh yes, I want that, I'm going to go out and get it. It's very expensive, and not everybody can afford it. Not everybody can even afford a car. So one, it's good for the environment. Two, you're saving money, right? Because you're not paying, especially now with the pandemic, we're, paying car insurance and car payments, and the car's just in the car because in the garage, because a lot of times, we're not really going anywhere. So that is, it makes sense, economically, it makes sense on a personal level, and then also on the bigger scale. So that is a good reason. But right now we're actually just launched our next gen study because so many things have changed as a result of the pandemic, right? The students are still lots of distance learning, and a lot of work from home still going on. So we are embarking on this study, and we actually just kicked off one of our outreach efforts today to find out what the needs of the community are, right? It's like, okay, yes, it's good for the environment and I would save money in the car, but is it going to meet my travel needs? Is it going to get me where I need to go? And we're all so different, and we all do very different things, need to get to different places. So that's what we're doing. Just kicked off this next gen study to develop the next generation of service, so that we can find out what the travel needs are of the community and we can meet those needs, right? So it's like marrying the two things is the most important, so that we can reach that efficiency level in the new environment, because it's obviously it's very new now. We don't know what's going to happen next year, if it's going to remain the same, or if it's going to come back. It's may not come back the way that it was before, and I think that's good. I think change is always good. It's going to happen no matter what, so you might as well make it good. So this study is a great time. That's what we're doing right now, is just trying to find out, really study the travel patterns of the community, how, where people need to go, and just to make it convenient for everyone.
I think that's great. That's awesome. You're able to pivot and do this study right now. Very cool. In the past, what could you say about the demographics of who was using your services?
It was a lot of students, college, university students, high school students. We had a partnership with SUSD. I mean, there's a lot of students that ride the bus. I rode the bus when I was a student because it was just, there was more. It was like that one bus in the morning. Well, actually, I don't think there was school buses when I went, but anyway, that's all not happening anymore, right? So before, it was a lot of students, and then there's also a lot of elderly people, that just don't have vehicles anymore. They're on fixed incomes, and so they're still using it, but there's still a lot of people that are using it. The people that are still using it, it's basically like the same population, but minus the students. Mm-hmm. And then of course the people that were using it for work. So that is where it was before. But now it's, we're not exactly sure what it is. It's at this time, and for the last, I guess I would say, year, it's just been essential trips, right? So essential trips are different for everyone. So it's very hard to figure out what the demographics have been for the last year. But before that's what they were.
Thank you. Okay. So you've touched a bit about what changes you guys have made related to COVID as far as cleanliness and sanitizing. Now I kind of want to know, are there any other changes that have happened either in the services that you've offered or how you're offering them because of the pandemic?
Yes. When the pandemic first hit, we went to weekend service. We were there, I would say, from March until about August. In August, we had our first set of service changes, which was a modified service, so it was a little bit more, and now I believe it's still modified. It's still a little bit less, but it's a lot more service. I think it's about 15% less than it was before, but the ridership is low. Also, it's about 40% lower than what it was pre-COVID.
Wow. Okay. Are there any transit related COVID-19 resources that you could share about? I don't know if there are any special vouchers that have been issued to certain groups or anything else related to COVID that might be a resource for someone trying to use RTD's transit?
Well, right now, actually, we just partnered with the county. We're going to be offering free rides for folks to get to the vaccine clinics.
Oh, wow, that's great. Awesome.
Yeah, at that just happened yesterday. The I believe there's some over at the agricultural center over off of Arch Road, and then also at Delta College. So we're going to be we're going to start offering free, so you just have to show your pass, or I don't know if it's probably a mobile thing, or if you'll have an actual appointment card. But so that resource is going to be there very soon here in the next, I would say, like in the next 5 days. For sure, early next week. And then as more vaccine clinics open up, we hope to be able to partner with other agencies to get people, to get vaccinated. That's like number one right now. When the pandemic first hit, for safety reasons, also, we stopped collecting fares, so that there wouldn't have to be that exchange. We implemented rear door busing, rear door boarding, sorry. So, and then there's also these, we have temporary barriers on the buses. So it's like a little plastic clear partition between the operator and the passengers. So we have that, and those will become more permanent as they, that's like a whole process, right? You have to purchase them, and then they have to be installed. And you can imagine the whole industry is doing this. So there's quite a delay there, but that's in the works. But as far as resources, we also have we do have a COVID landing page on our website where we put helpful information. In December, or I think it was in November and maybe early December, we had a testing site downtown at the Downtown Transit Center.
Yes.
We had a COVID testing site. And then, so those they kind of move around. I think it depends on the need. We were busy, I think, in the beginning, and then it just kind of slowed down. So I think they move around to where the need is, which is great. But we definitely try to provide as many resources as possible. Really, right now, getting people to the vaccination clinics we definitely don't want transportation to be a barrier. So that's like our whole thing, right? We don't want transportation to be a barrier to get anywhere, right? To get to school, to get to work. Like, that should not be, RTD, really believes that should not be something that stops people from, doing what they need to do or what they want to do.
Amazing. Are there any upcoming programs, not COVID related, but just in general, any upcoming programs or changes that you think the public should know about for RTD?
The next gen study, for sure. I think I talked about that a little bit earlier. Right now, we just kicked off a campaign today. I think it's about five or 6 days to survey our passengers, right? So we're starting there to find out, what's working for them, what's not working for them, how can we improve? That's what we want to do. We want to, of course, meet their needs. But that's just the first phase. There's going to be, like, outreach is a massive part of the study, because that's how we're going to collect all of the data that we need to get to get the recommendations for the right fit. And even then, if it doesn't fit, I think it's always going to be changing, right? Everything is always changing as people, different employers come into town or they leave, and then the housing. So it all kind of is always changing and evolving. But that is the most, I would say, that is what people, need. We need people to give us their feedback, right? We need the data as much as possible so that we can implement the right system that meets everybody's needs, not just the students, or not just the, having to go to the medical doctors, but for everything, right? So that we can use it to go to work, to go, anywhere that we need to go. So I would say that getting as much input from the community is the most important thing right now for that study. To make it successful, for it to work, we all need to give our 2 cents.
How can people do that? Is there a place they can go online?
Well, right now the outreach is geared toward passengers. So there are actual folks surveying, their surveyors giving the surveys out in person on the buses, at our transfer stations. If you're on the bus, there should be a QR code there that you can snap, and it will take you to the survey so that you can fill it out. And then I believe there is a next phase. The next phase of outreach is going to be for the community. So there's going to be workshops, and we're going to be we'll definitely put the word out on that, press releases, on our social media, on our website. So those are all places where you'll be able to get the information to
awesome.
Give your feedback.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure DSA can help put it out on our site too.
Yes, thank you. You're always so very helpful. All of the agencies are very helpful at pushing out the information, because that's how we communicate, right? That's how we communicate now.
Exactly. Okay, so I just have one final question before we take any audience questions, and this is, how can people either get in touch with you if they have questions for you specifically, or just how can they learn more about RTD? Where can they go?
They can go to our website. The website is sjrtd.com. And all of our information all of our services are there, our schedules, our board meetings. We have, so if you want to look through the board packages and see what's going on, what we're doing, you can go there. You can join the board. You can join us at the board meeting. Right now we're having them on Zoom, so they're live. And if you need to contact me, you can get my information is there. It's there as well. As a public information officer, my office phone number is there. So yeah, if you need to contact me, it shouldn't be that hard. But if you ask anyone at RTD, I'm sure they can give you my number or my email address.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Merab, for answering that long list of questions. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, so now I'm going to ask if anyone who's watching has any questions. And so far we just have one question typed in, and this is from Michael Huber. So his question is, are there any plans to have the trolley come back again once we get back to normal that might connect the ballpark and arena to the waterfront warehouse and other downtown restaurants? I know there used to be a trolley.
Yeah, the trolley was way before my time, but I do remember, before I was working there, but I do remember seeing it there. But I don't know of any plans to bring back the trolley. I've never actually seen the trolley, so I don't even know if we still have it. But we have the like I said, we have the Midtown corridor connects from the DMV all the way to Franklin High. So it stops at the DTC, and then the DTC has the Route 40, which is constantly going up Pacific, and that one actually goes down Fremont. So it stops right, in front of the Ballpark University Plaza Hotel, and then it goes up Madison and connects to Pacific. So if we don't have a special service for events, we definitely already have the BRT there, so we can connect.
Gotcha. Okay, so there is another transit option available, but not necessarily the trolley. Not
necessarily the trolley.
All right. So I'm going to wait and see if there's another question. Okay. So this is a question. It's actually coming from my coworker, so it's not on the Facebook Live. But here's the question. What types of accessibility options are there for those with disabilities? Do you have assistance that can help with people who might need it?
We do have, a travel training program, which helps, passengers with disabilities learn how to ride the bus. And then we also have our schedules, and our schedules are interactive. So, if you have a phone or device that is set up to maybe to speak the content to you. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I've never used it, but one of our board members is an advocate. She works for the Community Center for the Visually Impaired and Blind, and so we have a lot of our services are very accessible. They're very accessible, and we do have programs that can assist with that can assist those passengers. I just don't have it's all on our website. I just don't have the details on that because it's not my wheelhouse, and I have like all the other little hats that I wear, right? So I know that we have that. I believe it's called Talk to Me Maps. That's one where the schedules are set up so that they can be accessible to everyone. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I don't see any other questions. So at this time, I would like to remind everyone that this video is going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel, which our channel is called Downtown Stockton. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, you've already found us there where our handle is at Downtown Stockton. But we are also on Instagram at Downtown Stockton and Twitter at Downtown STKN. And so I would just like to thank you, Merab, so much for joining us today and being our guests. I hope that people are inspired to take public transit more often, now that they know they can pretty much get anywhere, all the way to BART and connecting with ACE and Amtrak to take them up or down, north or south, all the way starting with RTD. So thank you so much for sharing. And also thank you viewers for tuning in. And with that, I would just like to say, I hope that you all have a wonderful day downtown. Thank you.
Thank you.